about writing theme songs, but this one's pretty good. Oh, don't you agree? Now if you will do me the kindest courtesy and stop what you're doing to sing with me. I love me. It shouldn't be hard to say. I love me. I think I'll say it every day. I love me. I'll yell it early and late. I love me. Oh, and let's lose some weight. Da-da-da-da.
Woo! Ow! Woo! That theme song is hot, right? Woo! Hey, how are you today? I'm Leonard Wu Stevens, and you're watching Weight Loss, Love Gain. Today, we're going to talk about week 2 in our journey to love ourselves and potentially lose some weight. Before I get to that, I want to just point out the fact that we're back this week. I guess I love myself enough to keep making these videos, investing in myself, and y'all love yourselves enough to come back and see what I got to say. So I think that's a small celebration. And yes, yeah, you might have figured it out, but to fully love yourself, you're gonna have to watch all of my videos. So anyway, in all seriousness, the outpouring of love and affection that you guys have sent my way has just been amazing. I have no other words for it. It's been just incredible. Like, if at the end of this I love myself, it's not because I did anything, it's because y'all have just been a breeze in my sails. But seriously, I won't ramble on too long, but just the comments and the text just overwhelm me with, feelings I haven't had in years. Like, I literally had the thought this week, I feel better than I have in probably a decade. And that's largely, not entirely, due to the outpouring from my friends. So thank you so much. And shoot, 71 views, heck yeah, 7 subscribers, awesome. So I think my next goal is, I didn't have goals with viewership or anything, but if you want to help me out with this next one, the thing I thought of, the next logical thing would be to get 800 views. I probably have 800 Facebook friends, but get more views than Facebook friends, because then it's probably someone I don't know will have watched one of these videos. So that's a good accomplishment, I'd say. So without further ado, let's get into it. You might have noticed a little jump there, and by the upgrade on the theme song, I have spent a little time this week messing around with video and sound stuff. It was a little frustrating. I stopped when I got frustrated, so it's a work in progress. It continues to be a work in progress that I really enjoy. So I like doing this. I was thinking to myself yesterday, I wish I didn't have the pressures of everything else and I could just focus on doing these videos. But anyway, so I want to do a little bit of kind of foreshadowing. So the first week was all about building momentum. That's right. I knew you guys didn't want to lose these stunning visual effects, so I brought them back. I know what you guys want. And so, built momentum. Now what are we going to do this week? Are we going to continue to build momentum? Yeah. We're going to continue to build momentum. And you might say to yourself, Leonard, or you might ask yourself, Leonard, are we just going to keep building momentum for 52 weeks? No. But I kind of want to be intentionally vague about, I don't like to plan too far out at the beginning, because I don't know I'm a different person now than I've been every other time I've dieted, thought-wise. I'm older, I know more. So I don't know exactly the path that this diet is gonna take. I just know at the beginning, I need to get up some speed to take off. And that's what we're doing these first couple weeks, is just focus on getting the plane off the ground. Okay? That's it. So it's going to continue to be building momentum for at least a couple of weeks. I was told once, I don't even know how long ago, I've never fact checked it, so it could be incorrect, but I've been told that it takes about 21 days to form a habit. So that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to build enough momentum that our body starts internalizing the message that diet, exercise, and love are things that we're doing now. Okay? So that's all that we're doing. And so this week, we're just going to continue to do what we did last week. Okay? So how did my momentum building go last week? A good question, you ask. So, last week I made a little chart, and I don't want to get too crazy. I'm going to kind of hold the chart back. Because I know that my tendency would be, if I was watching somebody do a weight loss video and they showed a chart, I'd be like, well, I got to make a chart. You don't have to make a chart. I just made a chart to keep track of things so that I could talk about them, right? If I was doing this at the beginning, I probably wouldn't have more than just where I recorded my weights on the back. That's all you really need. In the future, I think that charts can be really helpful, and we will have charts, and I'll show you charts that I've designed before and put together, but to help with weight loss. But at the beginning, I think it just needlessly clutters things if you don't have to, especially when your only goal is to build momentum. Boop. So, if you don't want to use a chart, don't use a chart. If you're like, no, I'm going to have a chart and it's going to be awesome. Heck yeah, have a chart and let it be awesome. You can do that. But on my chart, I had 4 little squares, one for diet to kind of keep track of what I was doing, one for exercise, one for love, and one for miscellaneous. So miscellaneous was where, if I had a thought about the video, I'd put it. But let's talk about love first. What did I do to learn to love myself? Since that's the main goal of this. What steps did I take? And so I did 2 things. The first thing I did was I sent my counselor a copy of this video to start a discussion about the concepts in this video. Well, really continue a discussion about the concepts in this video, but that was step 1. Step 2, I literally just Googled ways to love yourself. And I know what some of you, that's a horrible thing to search, but there wasn't anything, actually no bad search results came up, so that's good. I did find this article. It's called 22 Ways to Love Yourself More. It's by Sharon Martin, LCSW, and I'm going to put the APA reference here just so we don't get in any trouble. I would put the link in the description, but I'm not exactly sure how to do that, so we're just going to put it straight in the video. And so there are 22 ways to love yourself. That's a whole heck of a lot of ways. I picked 3, okay? The 3 I picked were gratitude. So write down 3 things that you're grateful for every morning. I did that 3 days. So, but still, that's better than I'd done the previous week. So this week, I'll probably try to build on that a little bit. But, again, with the idea, just trying to build momentum. So really just trying to give myself some things I can think about during the week and start to incorporate, if that makes sense. So it's like, I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself to write 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. But if I think about it in the morning, I might be like, oh, that is something that I can do this morning. So trying to correctly allocate energy resources and stuff like that. Jeez, I sound like a power plant or a country or something. We need to regulate the energy resources on Leonard's weight loss series, or else, But after being grateful for things, the next item on the list was to speak more kindly to yourself. And so, yeah, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying very, very, very strenuously to talk better to myself. And that takes a lot of time. It takes being able to slow yourself down enough to know when you're talking negatively to yourself so that you can talk to yourself in love, or in just not anger. Just speak kindly to yourself, right? And then the third thing is to treat yourself. That's right, Parks and Recs fans. Boom, treat yourself. And I was surprised by this one, but it was like, yeah, just treat yourself. Just randomly give yourself unearned treats. You know, I guess that's the definition of a treat. I was shocked. And it did say healthy treats, but it was just confusing that I can treat myself, and that's an okay thing. So this one was so, there was such a dissonance with this one that I really focused on it. Like it struck out to me. And so I struggled with, like, I don't want to treat myself with food, because that kind of counteract the process. But like, I got some breath mints that I really like, and I give myself one of those. Or I'd make sure to have bubble water that I really like. Like, have a treat somewhere around me, because I'm worth just giving nice things to, I guess, is the message I'm supposed to start internalizing. So, and that went, yeah, I was pretty good at treating myself, which is surprising, because I'd like to, I know that I said in the previous video I was going to try to keep things short, and I will, but I mean, at the beginning there's just so much stuff to talk about. Videos are going to be a little bit longer. But what struck me, and what I think I'd like to encourage you to think about this week, is this treat yourself concept, okay? And why it's so foreign to us, or at least I think it is. I mean, when was the last time you really just treated yourself, no strings attached? We're good at treating ourselves with strings attached, but that's not a treat, that's a reward, okay? So, and I think, and I'll just talk from my own experience, but I was raised with a very strong reward punishment dichotomy. So if I worked hard enough, I could get a reward. If I did bad things, I would be punished, right? And the stronger you have that dichotomy, for your kids, for yourself, as a kid, the less room for grace there is. And by grace, I just mean, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, kind of, overlooking misdeeds, whatever. If you're so rulesy that there's no room for grace, that's an issue, I think. And that's the dichotomy that I was brought up in. My mom loved me, but the rules said X, Y, and Z, and she was so afraid that if I didn't follow the rules, something would happen, that I had to follow the rules. The rules say this, son, I'd like to punish you less, but that's what the rules say. There's no room for grace. And that dichotomy, that rigid rules system with no room for grace, has been seared, hardwired into us. Whatever imagery, whatever word you use, it's in us. And so we're going to have to do a lot of work to replace that system with a system of grace and love for ourselves. And I can hear the objections. Maybe you're not having any. That'd be great. Yeah, just go love yourself with abandon. But I can hear some objections because I hear them in my head. Well, but if we just forgive people, they'll just do whatever they want. And maybe they will. I don't know. But I don't think we're seeing that problem right now. I think we're at the other extreme where people are not loving themselves because they're not performing, they're not succeeding, they're not doing enough in their eyes to earn a reward. So they just aren't giving themselves a reward, and they're treating themselves badly, and they're not loving themselves. And so I think we need to pull this at least back to here, right? And sure, we might fall the other way, and in a year, like proverbial drunken man on a saddle falling off either side, in a year, 2 years, it might be like, oh gosh, we really need to get some rules in here, people. We're just going crazy. But right now, I think the bigger issue is we don't love ourselves. We don't treat ourselves. We don't give ourselves any slack. And I probably rambled on too much about this, but it's something I'll talk about it more. So, all that to say, in treating yourself, I would highly encourage you to digest what I've just said and see if it makes sense to you. If it doesn't, toss it away. I don't care. If it does make sense, I would say a good practical first step would be to find a little treat that you can get, like a candy. Not a candy, like a breath mint that you like. And you're like, I'm gonna have a candy. Breath mint. And just start practically adding treats into your life. And there will be times like, oh, you don't need that candy. You don't need that breath mint right now. It's like, yeah, I don't need it, but this is for me. This is me telling myself that I love me. Right? And so I think that would be a wise investment of our time this upcoming week, is to invest some thought and action into that. Okay? So that's one square of the 4. You guys thought these videos were ever going to get shorter. That's hilarious. Before we move on from this reward, punishment, grace discussion, another thought occurred to me is that some people might think, well, treating yourself, Leonard, you're just trying to train yourself like a dog. And part of me is like, yeah, I really am. Because I freaking love dogs. I've never met a dog I don't love. I love dogs. I want to get a dog. Pretty soon I'll have a dog. If I treated myself the way I treat dogs, I wouldn't need counseling. I wouldn't need medication. I'd be the happiest person on earth. So, yeah, I think I am going to treat myself a little bit like a dog, kind of, because I already am. We already are treating ourselves like the dog, like a dog, like the dog, like a dog. We're just using the wrong training dichotomy, right? We're the owner who is training their dog with pain and discipline and punishment, and rubbing their nose in their poo, and urine and stuff, like using our power to make this beast behave. That's the way we train ourselves, folks. It's hard, but think about it. Like, really, I encourage you, think about it. Think how you talk to yourself and compare it to how you talk to an animal. It's probably similar, and we need to change that. Much like we need to change the way we train animals. I'm reading about we need to change the way we talk to ourselves. So I like the dog training dichotomy. I want to treat myself like a good boy. All those good boy memes. I'm the bestest good boy. So that's what I'll say about that. And if anybody wants to create a meme where it's just me and then it's like bestest good boy, that'd be fantastic. Woo! So that was love. Quickly, because it is a focus, but it's not the focus of the video. How did I do on diet and exercise? Well, I'm glad you asked. I ended up losing 1.5 pounds. Woo! Yay! So I am now 286.2. And my goal for next week is the same, to lose 1 pound or 2. And I think I can do that based on, like, you do at the beginning of every week, need to do what I'm going to do right now and do just a little bit of assessments. Like what worked, what didn't work. At the beginning, this won't really be a problem, but as time goes on, you'll kind of start to see your weight loss slow down. And so you'll want to look at the things that you did in the past week and the things that you're doing and see if there are slight changes to keep your weight loss continuous. Because eventually, I mean, in the past, I remember the first time I was losing weight, and the first time I got back down to 265, I was eating a huge bag of Burger King, like probably $20 worth of Burger King by myself, because I know how to live life. I know what the finer things are. And I'm sitting there eating it, and the thought just occurred to me, like it should, even though I'm running like 50 minutes a day, I'm not losing any weight because I'm eating $20 worth of Burger King, folks. Like, come on. And so then I stopped eating fast food, and despite appearances, I haven't had fast food since then. But there'll be times like that. I've noticed in every single time I've dieted, there'll be things in the week, there'll be things leading up to my weight loss trailing off that I can see that I could easily and cleanly stop and get my weight loss back on track, whether in diet or exercising more. So that's a brief aside. But for this week, I'm going to continue the path. The food worked well. I did a minimal amount of exercising, really at the beginning of the week, not a lot. But I was actually, at one point, I was down 5 pounds or more. I think I got down to 281. So that's really good. But then I had my cheat meal Saturday, and I probably ate way too much. And by probably ate way too much, I mean I ate way too much. And so I woke up yesterday, Sunday. I was really worried about this, folks. Like, I woke up yesterday, and I was like spot on 287.7 where I started last week, and I was like, oh no, I mean I can't biff this the first week, can I? And so I've just been having a really interesting conversation with myself, like, what if I didn't make it? You know, how would I talk about that? But we'll see. Not this week, thankfully. So I did lose 1.5 pounds, and I think that doing what I did last week, I can lose another 1 to 2 pounds. This next week I'm going to be very mindful about what I do for my cheat meal and not to gorge so much so that I gain so much weight and salts and everything right at the end of the week. So that's what I'm taking forward. That's my assessment of this last week. So that's all that. And I would like to talk, if you didn't meet your weight loss goals this week, I've been trying to think about what to say, because that sucks. It really sucks. I want you to have lost weight. And I still care. I don't want you to feel bad. You shouldn't feel bad, because it's just, wait, you're still loved, you're still a person, you're still beautiful, you still have value, you know, and the fact that you even tried to lose weight is an amazing step, because you're starting to take a step towards caring for yourself, and that might have been all the energy you had. Only you know that. Maybe you did it, you started it, and you just couldn't go any farther than that. But then this week, you start again. And maybe you don't get very far, but maybe you get just a little bit farther. And eventually, you can stick on a diet for a whole week. Maybe it takes 7 weeks to get to the point where you can diet the whole week, right? But the point is that you're worth it. You want to create a win. Whatever a win looks like for you is a win. It's not a win for me. It's not a win for your boss. It's not a win for your parents, your family, your husband, your wife. It's your win. What does that win look like? So my win next week is to love myself more and lose a pound to 2 pounds. Maybe yours is love myself more and exercise once. Maybe that would be a really big thing. And so I encourage you to do that. But I encourage you to make a realistic win to, again, help yourself start to build momentum. And in loving yourself, I do encourage you all to go check out this article again and pick, like I did, 2 or 3 things to do. And again, it's here. Can you see that? Boop, boop. It's there. So go check that out if you want, or don't. I think that's it. So we're going to do the usual thing. We're going to give you our... Do we have... Oh, he took care of it. So we have the catchy tagline this week? We do. Okay, so we're going to give you the catchy tagline. It's another advancement. We got the theme music. We got some sweet video editing that may or may not have worked out. I don't know. I haven't done that as I'm recording this. So if it's choppy, sorry. You got theme music. Why are you complaining? So, we're going to give you the catchy tagline, we're going to give you some credits, and then we're going to give you the post-credit scene. So, stay tuned. And by stay tuned, I mean catchy tagline coming at you. This is just the same thing as it was last week. This is just a piece of paper that says catchy tagline. There's nothing else on here. Oh, the other. It's just in a different color. You guys...
Here are the credits, these are the credits. Slowly the credit pages change. And there are your credits, folks. Boop. Well, welcome to the post-credit scene. It's a bit more relaxed feel than the rest of the show. But this story I'm about to tell you, if you stuck around, the video was pretty long. If you stuck around, this story gets the most likes, I guess, of all the stories I tell, to put it in those sorts of perspectives. So when I was a very little kid, as you may have guessed, when I was 4, 5, 6, and so forth, I was pretty chunky. I was a chunky little boy, and when I was 6, it must have been 2 weeks into school, because it was I had just started first grade, right, and that's when I was 6. And so I go to the nurse's office because I have just terrible tummy pain. There's terrible tummy pain, and they can't figure out what's going on. And so they send me home. They tell my parents. Parents take me to the doctor, and the doctor's kind of doing the usual thing. And she says, hey, Leonard, what have you had to eat recently? So 6-year-old Leonard says, cream cheese. And the doctor says, okay, well, what else besides cream cheese have you had to eat? I don't know, nothing else, I guess. And so the next thing that happened was the doctor took my mom and dad out, and I heard, you can't feed your child only cream cheese. What are you doing? And then I heard like some confused mumbling that I'm sure was something to the effect of, but we don't just feed, we give him a lot of food. Oh no, what's going on? And so 3 very concerned, confused adults came back in. And what had been going on, I was very constipated. I hadn't taken a poop in like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, no exaggeration. It was bad. Probably could have died. But it's a funny story. So what was happening, though, is when we'd go to the grocery store, I was the person who put things in the cart. And then I was the person who took things from the cart and put them on the conveyor belt, and then put them from the conveyor belt into the bag. And then when we got home, I was the one who was putting the groceries away. Right? 6 years old. What a wunderkind. And what I was doing, as you probably could have guessed, is I was sneaking a couple bars of cream cheese in every time we went to the store. So I was literally just eating cream cheese for who knows how long. But eventually it caught up with me, and had to go to the doctor. Took some diarrhea, some flusher outers, and everything was fine. But when we got back to the house, the crisper was absolutely chock full of cream cheese. It was wonderful, and I love cream cheese to this day. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the post credit scene. Have a great week.